Okay. I cannot wait anymore. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I still need to do some pre-stream thingies here, but I figured let's go live already. Doesn't matter who's here. Say hi in chat. Yeah, so excited. I'm so excited today. This is like a great day. But I still need to let everyone on the socials know that I'm going live. So just gonna do that real quickly. Let's see here. We're live. Come say hi. Big day. We're live. Something like that. How is everyone doing, by the way? That's that. Oh yeah, I need to let them know on the Discord as well. You can join on Twitch and YouTube. Like that. Hello, Bass. Glad you're here. Let's see here. Okay, this is YouTube quality. Okay, this is good. Adrian and Dragons are here as well on Twitch. That's nice. Thanks for joining, folks. It's an exciting day. It really is. It really is. Let's see here. I'm gonna wait like 4 more minutes before actually diving into the things I want to talk about today. But let's just say hi in chat. And what's going on here coming from Pinkery? Yeah, well, we're gonna do something pretty exciting today. We've been working on this little framework here for a little over a year on stream, and I've been tinkering on it for 2 years, and actually 3 years if you count like the in-between periods. And we're gonna tag it today. We're gonna tag the alpha release, but yeah, I'll share some more details in a second. Samuel is here, Roman is here. By the way, Brent, when you will flag me as a member? What? How does that work? On YouTube chat? I don't know. I don't know what a member is. Sorry for my ignorance, mate. I'll check it out. No problem. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you just pressed the random link and you ended up here. It's gonna be really cool. I mean, I'm super excited about it. Lots of people in chat are excited about it. Roman is here as well. He told me, like, Brent, I'm gonna grab lunch during like the midday, but I'll tune in, and so we can all say enjoy your lunch, Roman. I'm glad you're here. I don't know what everyone else is doing. Some people told me they just put me on the second screen while they're coding. That's all fine. Maybe you just like I'm on your big primary monitor and you're just part of, can I say, PHP history? I don't know. No, maybe that's a bit over like overhyped of me, but for me it's a big thing. So I'm glad to be able to share this moment with a couple of people, and that's you. So that's nice. I really like it. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this moment for a while now. So, and we'll see, like, this is only the first real step, of course, but yeah, we'll see where it leads us. So, folks, let's have a chat here. My main monitor is a 90-degree angle, so that's not. Are you, Dragons? Are you for real? Your monitor, your main monitor is like tilted. Today on the main screen, Adrian. That's nice. I appreciate that. By the way, don't mind me. I don't have any tattoos. I did. I was painting all throughout the weekend. The same as I've been doing for a couple of weekends now. I mentioned this on a previous stream. We refactored our kitchen. And we still need to, well, we're almost done now. So I just noticed right now that this was still here. I'm sorry for that. I should have cleaned up, but your main monitor trackage is tilted, which helps with long functions, classes, file tree. I would say that like long functions and classes, that's an anti-pattern. That's a code smell. Hey, from, hang on, what flag is that? Finland? Finland flag, is that? Yeah, that's Finland. Okay. Listening while code in the background. So hang on a second. You're listening while you're coding in the background, or you're coding while you're listening in the background? Because coding in the background sounds pretty difficult to me, but my main monitor is 5 degrees tilted. Let me. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Finland. Well, I'm glad you're here from Finland. You work with what you have. I'm the odd duck here at the office. Dragons, I feel like you should send, if you're able to, send a picture of your desk setup in Discord here, because Dragons, he has been contributing quite a lot to Tempest actually. It's a code smell if you have to tilt your screen to read your code. I actually, like, I only use one monitor actually, but like for the stream, I need, like, it's difficult for me to like, oh yeah, you can see that because I'm not sharing my desktop, but it's difficult to have OBS on the same screen. Hello from France, Karel ou Charlie. Hein? Très bien. Bienvenue, Charlie. I'm glad you're here. So folks, Tempest, right? So it's kind of crazy how all of this went. 3 years ago, I did some kind of code kata thingy for myself, and I wanted to write a container and a writer, basically. And you know, I just did that, and it was fun. And then like I had a couple of ideas that I wanted to try out with the container, and it was fun. And that was it. And I called it on GitHub. I called it Untitled Framework. It was a private repository, and Aiden, you might have heard of Aiden before. He's like my partner in crime here. He checked it out and he liked it as well. And he was like, Brent, we really, like, maybe one day we can write something real together. And I was like, yeah, but there's no need for it. I mean, there's great frameworks in PHP. Why would I spend my time on this? Even though I find it interesting. It is really interesting. And then I kind of came back to it, just tinkering a little bit with it in 2022, I guess, 2022, yeah. And I was talking about this with Aiden, and we're like, yeah, Untitled Framework, it's maybe one day. But then last year I decided to do some streams. Like I was doing these videos on PHP Annotated, where you might be watching this right now. But I wanted to get into some live streaming, because you know it's fun working on a video for a month and then publishing it. And then, oh, I'm sorry for my mic, but and then, you know, that's it. But with live streams, it feels like you're much more connecting with people, and it's just there in the moment, and you just casually hop on, and it's not like it's a totally different vibe basically, and I really liked it. And so I was like, okay, I need to do some coding probably on stream. I reckon people will like that. And so I did two things. We worked a little bit on RFC vote. I don't know if are there any people here who remember RFC vote, like this project here, where we have this little community platform. It's fun how asymmetric visibility, how so many people dislike it, but still it's getting added in PHP 8.4. Let's see here. This is a total sidetrack here, but I actually like asymmetric visibility. But that's a side note. So we worked on RFC vote, and we also did some coding on Tempest. And let's see here. Where are my playlists? Over here. So Tempest. Yeah, here's the playlist. And we did a couple of streams, right? Might have missed one or two in this, adding to this playlist. But okay, 17 streams past year about Tempest. And it was really nice. It was just, this kind of side project. We're building something together and we're learning, and it's just for learning purposes, right? And then more and more people start to say, hey, this is a really cool approach you're taking towards building a framework. People started contributing, and there seemed to be more and more interest in this thing. So, we're in a weird stage now. I still don't know where it is going, to be honest. I still think like the real framework problem space has been filled with Symfony and Laravel. But on the other hand, it's fun to work on something new, right? And there are some things that make Tempest unique and that people seem to like. So we'll see where it goes. That's why I'm going to now tag an alpha release today. And the goal with this release is, it's alpha because there are still bugs, right? But I just want to get a feeling of, okay, are people really interested in doing something with this? Doesn't have to be like something really big, but is there enough interest to actually keep working on this? Because yeah, it's open source, lots of people contribute, they're basically putting their time into it. I just want to make sure that if we continue to do this, that there's actually some use to it. It doesn't have to be something big, but and if it's not, that's okay as well. I mean, it's been a really cool project up until this point, and we learned a lot along the way. So I mean, we didn't lose anything, no matter where it goes. But yeah, we're kind of in this like weird stage, and we need to figure it out. And that's why I decided we're gonna work towards an alpha release, and then a second alpha release probably, then a 1.0 release, or maybe some more alphas in between. Who knows what comes along the way. And then, this is the time where we discover whether this is something for real or not, and both are totally fine for me. So that's where we're at today, right? So yeah, today I want to show you, I want to start the stream by showing a couple of things that make Tempest unique, because I figured not everyone might be up to speed. You might not have followed all these live streams. You might not be in the Discord. So I'm gonna show you a little bit how Tempest works, and then we're gonna tag it. We're gonna tag the first alpha release. Okay. So let me take a look at chat here while I was rambling. Who else remembers working with HTTP get vars, right? I guess you should shave your head before releasing it. It looks like it worked for Taylor. Lol. Fun story here, but I don't go to hair cutters. I don't know. I just have my mother-in-law cuts my hair. My wife used to do it, like there's nothing, it's a bzzz and it's done, right? My wife used to do it, and one day she was super enthusiastic. She comes in and she was like, bzzz, like she started here, right? And she forgot like the cap. I don't know. So basically, I was bald for a couple of weeks because there was no way back. She started in the middle. That was fun. It was really fun. I actually liked it, by the way, but she tells me I'm not allowed to do it anymore. So and to be honest, I don't really have the same ambitions as Taylor probably. On the other hand, I was reading some old Reddit posts about Laravel, and when it released, it started off small, and it was a really nice vibe back then. So we'll see where it goes. If it all falls apart, we have at least one a Goat server-side code highlight. if nothing else, we have highlight. We have Tempest Highlight. That's right. If you don't know this package, this is something I wrote, not necessarily for Tempest, although Tempest is using it now to highlight all kinds of stuff. But this was a really nice project to work on, and still is. Like there's still a couple of issues, but this is basically, it's a code highlighter, right? That's Tempest Highlight. Does so server side. So all these code blocks are rendered with Tempest Highlight. They yeah. Anyway, some pretty cool stuff you can do with that. But yeah, if all else fails, there is still Tempest Highlight. That's true. I like that. And that's how it all started, I guess. Well, like Tempest Highlights, it's not how it started. No, this was just something I was talking to Aiden about. Like, how difficult could it be to write a proper highlighter that doesn't require client-side stuff? I actually have a talk about this. I'm working on a talk about this story, and I've submitted it to a couple of conferences, but it hasn't been accepted. Not to say it has been denied. So I've also submitted to Laracon EU for next year, so we'll see. If it gets denied there, I'm just gonna record it and put it on the channel because I like it. I like the story of Tempest Highlight, but and people are actually using it. Wait for Brent to change the license to AGPL v3. I don't know what that's about, but I guess yeah. Let's head over to the YouTube chat as well. Hey Brent, congratulations for this big day. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited, as you can tell. Will RFC be moved to Tempest? Could be a solid example of how to use Tempest. True. And yes, maybe, although there are a couple of things in RFC vote that aren't available in Tempest yet. I'm thinking about mail, I'm thinking about authentication and queuing. And that maybe that's a good like a thing to say up front. There are still things missing in Tempest. Things we plan on adding, but yeah, that's work in progress, right? Blue Lambo, when? What chat is he reading? I'm reading both YouTube and Twitch has. Yeah, I got it set up on Twitch indeed, but I switch, but just lots of messages. I need to figure it all out. So yeah, I switch between the two. Okay, so folks, Tempest. This is Tempest, right? You can let me see here. You can join our Discord as well. Come say hi if you want to. You can find the link in tempest.stitcher.io. Here's the Discord link. You just click it. It's also in the description of the YouTube video. Yes. I want to show you. This is Traget's his setup, dude. Like a vertical screen for. Can I zoom this in? For main code. That's insane. But okay, glad it works for you. Really nice. Yeah, Trackets is here. So there's one reason to join the Discord. Aiden is here as well. That might be a reason to avoid the Discord. No, I'm kidding. I hope Aiden wakes up at some point during this stream. So, let me close this. And I need this. Yep. And I need this. So, folks, Tempest. Philly Troll 22 on Twitch asks, what's up? Well, we're going to release the alpha version of Tempest, and it's gonna be great. I first want to show you like what this thing is, right? And I have like a small demo prepared. If you will indulge me for 10 minutes. A small demo meaning like really small. There's nothing here. So we have our an empty source folder here, and this is our composer JSON with nothing, right? Okay, so there are 5 things I want to highlight about Tempest. Oh, Aiden, you're here. Great. I hope you missed my joke. There are 5 things in Tempest that I feel make it a little bit unique compared to other frameworks. Yasin is here as well. Many people are here. That's great, folks. I wanna highlight these 5 things, right? And once again, I want to mention it up front that this is an alpha. Well, it's not yet, but it will be in half an hour. This is an alpha version, so there are things missing and there are bugs. Okay, so, but I hope this works fine. So, Tempest, you can install it as like an application, right? As a framework setup, composer create project Tempest app. That works. You can also install it in any project you'd like. You can install it in a Laravel project if you want to. You can, like I installed it in Stitcher, work in progress. You can use it to make small parts of your application dynamic, for example. That's what I did in Stitcher. I'm also working on refactoring Aggregate to Tempest, and that one I started from scratch. But you can, it just works on its own. Right, that's what that's like the first thing that's kind of different to something like Symfony or Laravel. So you can compose require, and I'm writing dev main here because it's not tagged yet. Okay. Dude, white IDE, that's diabolical. It's quite hard to look at. Okay, folks, I'm sorry. We're stopping the stream for a minute. Let's redirect this person to the right video here. Okay, this one over here. Let me share the link in chat. Here's a whole video. Oh no, it's not. Hang on. No, I've messed it up. Hang on, we're going to Twitch. There we are. Like, I was in the zone, and now I have to talk about light color schemes. Yeah. Like, side note, Tempest is also using final and read-only everywhere. So, okay, there you go. Have fun with that. Wait, how many? I also wanna check like how many people are. Okay, 12 only. It's okay. So, compose require, right? Let's imagine this is a Laravel project or anything, or just a clean project. This is what you do. Aiden, we need to fix this. No, so that's Tempest installed basically. Okay, nothing really changed. We can run vendor. No, just vendor bin Tempest for now. And so that's the Tempest console. That's basically everything. Okay. Now let's say we make a controller. Oh, not a directory, controller here. So home controller, for example. And let's say public function index. Not void, it will return a response like so. Okay, and let's say return new. Okay, hello. So we modeled our responses with these kind of classes: created download file, generic response, invalid, not found. Okay, this was an idea that Aiden came up with. Well, he didn't come up with it, but it's something that .NET does, and it's really, I really like it. It's different, but I really like it. So we have our controller here, and we write an attribute for the route, right? So we'll come back to attributes because it's a pretty big thing in Tempest. So let's say we now do Tempest serve, right? There's an error. That's okay. By the way, let me zoom in a little bit, right? There's no public directory yet. Yeah, remember we installed Tempest in a clean project. There's nothing here, but there's an install command. And oh yeah, I need to vendor bin. Oh, hang on a second. I showed the wrong thing. Vendor bin Tempest serve, right? Public directory does not exist. That was the error I was looking for. We can run vendor bin Tempest install, and then we need to confirm whether we want to install some files. There are many files. It's a console application. It's the index.php and environment variables. That's all that's getting installed. But you can like interactively choose. So do you want to create the Tempest console? Do you want to create index.php, env.example, and env? Yeah, okay. So we added 4 files now. That's it. If you create a new project from like composer create project Tempest app, this is all in place already. But now we have our public index.php here. It's not much here, but you know, you could have written this yourself if you wanted to. So now let's run Tempest serve, and actually we can we also installed like the binary here. So let's do Tempest serve, which is a little cleaner. And we have our first route working here. So I just want to like describe like what's happening here. We only written a home controller here, and that's it. Like let me remove this git keep actually. So no other config, no routes configuration. It's just, it's here, it's the index method. And somehow Tempest picked up on it, right? Let me show you another example. Let me create a console command here. So I'm going to do something weird here, and I'll explain why. So let's do it like this. And now the thing with Tempest is everything can be injected with the container, right? Everything is auto-wired. So if you want to interact with the console, you need to inject private console, the console interface, right? Now you can do things like this: console success, hello world. Okay, good. Let's have this function return void, and then we have to say, so if we run Tempest now, well, our command isn't here, right? That doesn't work because we've never said that this is a console command. Let's write the console command attribute here and check here. Here it is. So hello world, hello world. Let's see if that works. Okay, that works. That's nice. And one of the things I like about console commands in Tempest is that like you're not really forced to do any like definition configuration, right? So what you would do in, let's say you want to add an argument here, the name, for example. The only thing you need to do is write this basically. So let's refactor this here, and let's say hello name, like so. Whenever we run our command now, okay, we're missing the name, so Tempest will prompt us for the name. So let's write Brent. We can write it here as well, and you can see like in the command definition here, Tempest picked up on it as a required attribute. Let's say we make this nullable. So like this, it's now an optional argument, and let's say name equals world, right? So as the default one, hello world, right? Hello Brent. So this is, I really like this approach of not being bothered with like writing a command definition, and then you have to map that data into arguments anyway, and you have to like resolve them here, this input, get argument, stuff like that. Okay, so it's just the method definition is the command definition. There are some options here, by the way. If you, ooh, that's very weird styling. Oh yeah. For example, we can call this command test, for example, right? Let's see, Tempest test, like this. We could provide some aliases as well. So back to hello world, for example. Hello world. And of course, test still works as well. So, oh yeah, maybe one more thing I wanted to show you here is we inject this console dependency. You can also use a trait for that. So use has console, and that means you also don't need to. You can do this directly, basically. It works the same. It works the same. That's just convenience, right? This is that implementation. It has the constructor here, and then it has basically just. It's a proper facade. it just links things through to other places, basically. And let me check chat for a second. It's not about. Oh yeah. You're still talking about, or you were talking about light color schemes. It's not about color. It's about contrast. Sure, it's about brightness as well. But private read-only console, right? Brent, could you please explain the initializer feature? Yes, hang on, we're getting there. I'm going to show 5 things in Tempest, right? Pretty cool, I love this. Nice. Since you're demoing, I would be happy if you explain this part. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to initializers. Hang on a second. Let me check my thing here. So I said 5 like features of Tempest, right? So the install into any project thingy I showed. We also have like separate components. That's getting too deep into the rabbit hole right now. But basically Tempest is split up into standalone components. It's not entirely done yet and not decoupled perfectly yet. Work in progress. But the idea is that you could install the Tempest console as a separate thing. Well, Tempest console actually works. You can like do composer require Tempest console. And then you just get the console stuff, nothing else. If you want to read more about that, by the way, just head to tempest.stitcher.io, and over here there's a page about standalone components. So we have the console, HTTP as well, need some fine tuning, the container, debug. I haven't shown that yet, but like we have some additions on top of var_dump or Symfony's var_dumper package. The event bus, command bus, the mapper as well, but it still like needs some more improvement, basically. Make it compatible with Symfony console, and we will use it everywhere. Actually, yes, I am. One of the things I want to do is add a bridge for both Symfony and Laravel, so that you can just use, you can do compose require Tempest console in a Symfony and or Laravel project, and you can basically write this, and it will just work within Artisan or Symfony console. So work in progress. But yeah, I really want to do that. That's yeah, on the to-do list, right? So, oh, I need to go back to my notes for a second. Another thing, I briefly mentioned it already, but there's no config here, right? This is just two classes and it works. There's a concept in Tempest called discovery, and discovery is really nice. And this is what sets it apart from Laravel and Symfony the most. Tempest will do its utmost best to not have you write like boring boilerplate setup and configuration stuff. It does so by, now hold on tight, don't panic. Tempest scans the whole source code or source project. It also scans the whole vendor project code, all packages that require Tempest. Basically, it looks throughout your whole code base, throughout your whole project for code that it should do something with. And you might be panicking. Oh no, is this performant enough? Now, don't worry. I'll talk a little bit about performance in a second, but Tempest basically looks at your code and determines what that code does. And it does so in most cases because of attributes, right? So whenever a method has an attribute, it's considered a console command attribute. It's considered a console command. Pretty straightforward, right? When it has a route attribute, it's considered a controller action, and it's registered in the right places in the container. You don't have to do anything for that. You're not bothered with route files. You're not bothered with creating these kind of definition thingies. Tempest tries to do as much as possible to do the work for you. Another cool thing here is, like, this works for event listeners as well. So handle. Let me my event just real quickly here. Construct an event is just any class, public string name, right? So let's say now I need to actually inject the event. No, I don't. We can trigger an event here. Event new my event, and let's do the name here. This is a bit of a weird example. I just want to show you, like, let's tag this with an event handler. And which event should it handle? Well, it should handle my event, right? Like so. And then we could say this success event name. Just it's a stupid example here, but yeah, okay. So that works. Anyway, it's just a demo on how these attributes work. You just tag something and Tempest figures it out. That's like the main strength of discovery. Now, discovery, you can imagine, like, scanning your whole code base. It takes a while. We did some benchmarks. We generated a bunch of Tempest code, thousands of classes, controller classes, console command classes, and it works okay. It's not like done in 10 milliseconds. It takes 500 to 600 milliseconds, which is it's right now a bit slow But that's with thousands of classes, right? We're gonna make some improvements there, but I don't reckon people will build projects with thousands of classes yet. So for now, just like hundreds of classes and methods will be totally fine. You're not gonna notice it, and in production, it's cached, so you don't run into any issues there. It's instant. So that's just a side note on discovery. I created an issue this morning actually. There are two ideas that I want to implement to make it even more performant. And that is a partial discovery cache, so that we only run discovery on files that have been changed or added, and we can use Git for that, right, to determine that list. And also, it's not really like a problem now, but in the future it will, if there are third-party packages, only run like real-time discovery on source code, because it doesn't make any sense to do it for vendor code, but it doesn't really change unless you run a composer update, and then we have to like clear discovery cache and stuff like that. So let me grab a drink here. That's discovery. Very, very quickly. It's a super cool feature, and it's like, it wasn't my ID, by the way. It's Aiden's ID. This is like, if you ask me what's the main difference of Tempest, it's like compared to other frameworks, it's discovery, and it's super cool. Like once you've used it, I've been using Tempest for some side projects now. I mean, there's just so much setup work in other frameworks, and I'm just so sick of it. But yeah, that's one of the things I think is really cool. We also talked about attributes. It's a stylistic choice. We could have all classes extend something, but attributes are way more flexible. They allow you to do a lot more things, because you can combine stuff in one class if you want to, if it makes sense. Sometimes it does make sense. But it also like doesn't pollute the inheritance chain with technical like parent classes. I wrote a blog post about that if you're interested in it. Extend or implement. Here it is. Yeah, lots of thoughts, but I don't want to go too deeply into the rabbit hole there. But I find attributes to work really, really great. Okay, next thing I wanted to touch on, mentioned it a couple times by now, but the no config approach of Tempest. Like there are no config files here. You can make config files, but the goal is that Tempest does most of the config for you. But like a common use case are database connections, right? So anything that lives in the config directory, any PHP file that is in the config directory, will be registered as config in Tempest. And config in Tempest is done with classes, no arrays or anything, just classes. And the upside of that is that you have proper autocompletion, right? So for our database config here, we should return a new database config object, and it takes one parameter. For now, there might be some more things in the future there. It takes a connection. And let's actually see here like which connections are available. And you have all of this in place in the IDE. You don't have to go look up documentation. We have MySQL, Postgres, and SQLite connection here. The default actually is SQLite, but let's do the MySQL connection here. And it has a couple of parameters, and you have autocompletion on all of that. So host, and you see the defaults here as well. Let's say the only thing I need to change is the password here. Password. Root, but it's not really a good idea to store it here. Then we can resolve it via the env-db password. I like this, and this is very similar to Laravel, right? So we can add that in env over here. Root, like that. Although I did see, like, hang on a second, this is kind of unfortunate that there are two environment helpers, one for Tempest and one for I don't know where this one comes from. Is this from Laravel? yeah, it is. And we're requiring Laravel. We're not requiring Laravel, but it is like a dependency somewhere, which I still need to figure out. Composer Y, illuminate support. I know why we require Laravel. That's because we require ignition for our exception handler. Let me show that actually. Throw new exception, which is kind of unfortunate. We still need to improve this. Let's see here. Serve. Oh, it doesn't even work. Okay, that's good. Well, that's a bug. There should be an ignition page here. Anyway. Brent, I want a Tempest sweatshirt. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Not very high on the priority list. I'm curious, why didn't ignition work now? Huh. I need to figure that out. Password should be username, and username should be password. Best security policy. The defaults are for local development, of course. So, if I remember correctly, Tempest was some kind of learning project and not supposed to be used in production. Did that change? We talked about this a little bit at the start of the stream. We still don't know. We still don't know. More and more people are interested in it and tell me they want to use it, but I don't know if that's a good idea or not. So the reason we're tagging Alpha 1 and more alpha versions and hopefully a 1.0 someday is to actually figure that out. Do people want to use this or not? And like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I'm totally fine with it being either way. We'll have to see. So that's that. And it's alpha because there are still bugs and security issues. And so, like, I mean, it's still work in progress. But there are some cool things here that people seem to like. And that's why we need to figure it out, basically. That's why we're doing this. After the stream, I'm rewriting my static personal webpage. Okay, let me show you a little thing we have in Tempest now that we're talking about it. Let me show you the docs website, actually. This is the Tempest docs are written with Tempest, of course. So that's tempest.stitcher.io. Let's see here, what's it? The docs controller, right? So yeah, basically there's no way of hiding it. You just add a static page attribute to your controller methods, and you run, that's the wrong path. You run Tempest static generate, and it will generate static pages for you from your controller actions. And the only thing you need to do in case you need it is to have data providers to provide these input arguments if you have dynamic URLs, and then it just works. So yeah, if you want static websites, it's built in. So yeah, it's pretty cool being able to say that. There was, let me check here. So we covered 4 things already. You can install Tempest in any project. There is very little config, and config files are proper objects with auto-completion and IDE insights. Attributes, I really like attributes. Might require some getting used to, but it keeps relevant things together instead of spreading them out across config files. There's discovery, like biggest selling point of Tempest, and then there are initializers. Some people were talking about it in chat already, and this is another thing I really like. So let's say let's actually see here. Composer require can I league common mark? Yeah. So I mentioned that everything in Tempest is resolved via the container. So basically everywhere you have auto completion, right? So you can inject anything in any constructor. In theory, there are a couple of exceptions, but you shouldn't run into them too quickly. So let's say I want to inject my markdown converter here, markdown, so that we can actually render some markdown. This markdown convert. This is a very stupid example, but hi, something like this, okay? And then we'll return the HTML here. So yeah, we need some setup for this markdown converter to work actually. And how does that work in Tempest? We don't have service providers. That's not needed because like most configuration is done in other places, like with attributes and stuff like that. But what if you want to register something in the container as a singleton or as like something that's been manually constructed for you without auto-wiring? So let's create a markdown initializer here, right? And let's implement initializer. In some places, Tempest will force you to implement an interface. And this initializer will specifically return a markdown converter, right? So let's say, and now I actually have to like steal from the Tempest docs because I can never remember markdown initializer. Let's copy all of this. This window. Let's move along. Yep. So what we do here is we create a new, this is just the leak command mark package, right? This has nothing to do with Tempest, but we create an environment here. We also add the highlighter. We don't need to do this. This is Tempest Highlight, and it will, let's see. Oh, we actually, let's remove this. Let's import the right one. Okay, so we add a couple of extensions. We add two renderers to render code blocks, right? And then we say we return a new command mark converter thing. So this is an initializer class, and if you remember that I mentioned discovery, this will now just work, right? Let's see here. In theory, it should work. Oh no! I need to Tempest serve once again, and yeah, there we have it. That's our rendered markdown. Let me actually make a slightly better example here. So home.markdown, for example, home, and let's also add a code block because code blocks like so. Let's go to our home controller and let's say file get contents for now. Dear, what's it called? Home.markdown. And we actually want to add markdown views in Tempest as well. That's just work in progress. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's rendered here. It's not highlighted because there's no I don't have the CSS loaded here, and I'm just dealing with straight HTML, right? So so yeah, but I mean the classes are here. The property type keyword. Maybe I should set up a view for it. Why not? Let's do contents, and let's make a view here very quickly. Home.view.php, HTML head, body, and then we'll say, and I'll talk about a little bit about Tempest's view engine as well in a second. This contents, return view, and that's dear. This is no, like so, and then we'll pass in the contents. Also, let's change this to view now, like this. So that still works, but now we can add some styling here. So where actually I don't remember how does Tempest Highlight. I just need to include the CSS file, right? Oh yeah, I should have gone to the docs. Quick start themes. I just need to copy over this. Let's see, and it works. So I was actually showing off initializers, right? So these are initializer classes, and they are discovered as well by Tempest. You don't have to do anything. You just specify a return type here in Tempest knows this initializer is used to create this class. If you want it to be singleton, you just add singleton, and well, it will work the same. But now, whenever this Markdown converter is requested somewhere in your code, it will always be the same instance. So 5 key features, right? Installing into any projects with like different components and stuff, also work in progress. No config, and the way we treat configuration is different. We use a lot of attributes. There's discovery and initializers, and there is more. There's also a custom view engine, which would drive us a bit too deep into the rabbit hole, but you can read about it here as well. So it looks like this. And this is very much work in progress. I hope to get some IDE support for it as well in one day. But you can do some pretty cool stuff with the Tempest View engine as well. But there's support for Blade also, if you want to. And for just plain PHP. That works as well. Besides this, we have, of course, models, an ORM, console commands, and like console applications. You can make like interactive console components as well. Let me just show you like these kinds of things where there's 2 times test here. I don't know why that's happening. That's a bug. But these kind of dynamic console components are built into Tempest. There's the event bus, command bus, the command bus, which we'll probably use to build a queuing system with. Work in progress. There's logging support as well, static pages, I showed you that, and standalone components. There is still a lot of work to be done, but I think we're at a stage where you can build something small with this. And we need to figure out if people want to use it or not. So that's where we're at. That's a short rundown of Tempest. And well, I appreciate you've been watching here and asking your questions about it. If you have any more questions, now is the time. But we're also gonna like take a moment to tag the first alpha release, which is well, there's not much to it. We just have to write like 1.0 alpha 1, and then this, and we just have to push the publish release button, I think. So yeah, should we do it? What do you think? Yeah, like I'm just thinking, will there be any like things we've missed, especially because Aiden, look at what Aiden has been doing. Oh, that's a highlight. Over the weekend, he has been refactoring like crazy. Aiden was trying some things out. But we have pretty good CI, also thanks to Aiden and Tregis as well. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe something is horribly broken, but then we'll just tag a new release. Marcus pre-release, it's alpha. It's not. We're not gonna do alpha pre. We're not gonna do this. That's just alpha 1, and then we'll have alpha 1.1 maybe, or I don't know. But if needed, we're gonna tag it. Yeah, publish. That's it. Okay. Thanks for watching the stream, folks. Yeah, no, I'm super excited about this, and I really want to know like if people want to play around with this, and you're gonna run into bugs and problems. I'm sure of that. Let me know about them. You can create issues, Tempest framework, on the repository here. You can come into Discord and you know, share your feedback and questions as well. It's really nice. We have a small group here of let's see here, 120 people, something like that. So yeah. that's it basically. I now need some input of people want to try it out. I realize it's the start of the week, so you probably don't have the time until the weekend to hack around with it. I'll give some reminders throughout the week that this is a thing, and I would like some input. So, with all of that being said, I think we're done for today, at least. Yeah, folks, I really appreciated you being here, and like especially also like being here throughout the past year. And so many people is they pitched in and helped out and did a lot of things I wasn't able to do. So yeah, this is like not my accomplishment. This is just many people who helped out, like over 20 people by now, and some small contributions, but every contribution really counts. So that's it for today. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Folks, let me know how it goes if you play around with Tempest, and then I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.